Good day, everybody. It's Andrew here, and welcome back to another update. Let's talk about a new deadline that Nancy Pelosi just set. And in this video, we're going to cover a deadline that she set for the next stimulus package, which could include the stimulus check for seniors. So let's discuss the details. But as always, do me a quick favor, hit like, hit subscribe, share this channel with anyone who you think might find this helpful, and subscribe to my second channel. The link to that is going to be in the comments of this video. That is truly the best thing you can do if you want to support my work. And to the 4,000 people who already subscribed, thank you so much. That channel should be launching in about 2 weeks. So let's dive right into it and talk about the deadline that Nancy Pelosi just set for the next stimulus package. But quickly, let's do an update on daily trending news. First of all, we have to talk about the polls, and President Biden is plummeting. Now, one thing they're trying to figure out is why are President Biden's stimulus packages popular, but President Biden is not. Now, if you look on your screen, the support for the bipartisan physical stimulus plan is 63%. 63% of voters in this country like the physical stimulus plan, and only 32% of people don't. Similar numbers with the stimulus check package. 58% of Americans like the stimulus check package, 37% don't. But if you look at President Biden's polls, he has a disapproval rating of almost 60%. Only about 40% of voters think President Biden is doing a good job. Now, people are saying that this is very similar to former President Trump, which was historically low. Let's watch a quick clip that talks about why President Biden's polls are so low.
On the largest infrastructure package in a generation. He'll sign the $1 trillion bipartisan bill at a ceremony this afternoon, and we'll go live to the White House, talk about that.
Well, you know, Mika, also, if you look at some of the poll numbers that are out, there's always a question of where Joe Biden's sitting, what the agenda's looking like. Yeah. Joe Biden's numbers low. A poll that we're going to be showing you this morning shows that his numbers are in the low 40s. A bit of good news if you're Joe Biden, and bad news. The bad news is he's not doing well with independents. The good news is that he's 17 points off with Democrats. Those are obviously people that come home, or 16% Democrats are not supportive right now. You know, those voters usually come home, almost always come home. But it's the independents where he's sitting at 58% disapproval that he obviously will have to work on. But you look at where he's sitting and where his legislation is. Yeah. The bipartisan infrastructure bill, overwhelmingly popular. 63% of Americans support this bill. Now, I want you to just look at that as we start the show. 63% of Americans support a bill that Republicans are getting hate calls from their constituents if they supported a bill that more than 6 out of 10 Americans support. Other Republicans in Congress are saying that it is a communist bill, an infrastructure bill to make your roads, your bridges, your airports safer, your drinking water safer, your broadband faster, the things that we actually want our government to do, even if we're small government conservatives.
Well, it goes to show that with the stimulus packages being popular, but President Biden still being unpopular, a couple of things could be at play. First, people could be frustrated that the stimulus checks still haven't come out. So even though people support the stimulus check package, like, yes, we like it, I would vote that I like it, but at the same time, I'm frustrated with President Biden that it still has not been passed, and seniors still have not received their stimulus check. So that could be what's happening. It could also be that the stimulus packages aren't necessarily what a lot of people think is the most important thing. Now, obviously, I would disagree, and I think you would disagree as well, but a lot of people say that inflation is the #1 issue that they should be addressing right now, and let me know your thoughts if you think it's inflation or you think the stimulus package is the biggest pressing issue. Now, Joy Reid is a host on MSNBC, and Fox News was recently slamming her because she basically was mocking the American people, saying that they should be more grateful towards President Biden because he approved the $2,000 stimulus checks, which were really $1,400. Remember, they said $1,400 plus $600 is $2,000. And he also got the vaccines rolled out really quickly. I mean, in fairness, he did get the vaccines rolled out really quickly, and he did get the third stimulus check approved. But MSNBC's host, Joy Reid, was kind of mocking the American people, and honestly, it's pretty frustrating to see. I have to share it with you guys, though. And Fox News, quite frankly, did a good job. Now, I don't want to pick sides. I like to show Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, everything in between. But in this case, I think Fox News did a good job of calling out MSNBC for, quite frankly, mocking the American people. And it's not okay, because yes, they did approve the third stimulus check, but it's been 6 months and we should have had the fourth stimulus check for seniors already. So I just have to share this with you guys. Take a look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Then we're going to jump into Nancy Pelosi's deadline. It's a new deadline that she just set for the next stimulus package.
Because they're ephemeral, right? And at this point in many of their presidencies, a lot of presidents faced a crisis of public confidence. And Joe Biden faces a massive ongoing COVID nightmare that is harming his numbers. So his numbers are pretty low right now. There's also a lot of Americans who, despite having gotten the shots and checks, are still telling pollsters that he's accomplished nothing or almost nothing, which I find amazing. I guess they spent the whole $2,000. Now they're not happy anymore. Well, but does that matter? Like, should we think about this in terms of those polling numbers?
I mean, to say the American people spent the $2,000 in a kind of condescending way is truly unacceptable. I mean, obviously, the American people spent the $2,000. It's been 6 months. I mean, does she live off $2,000 for 6 months? It's completely tone deaf. And honestly, it's so frustrating, especially when my community here, seniors, those who are disabled, pay taxes your entire lives. And all you're asking for is really a tax deduction, right? These stimulus checks are tax deductions from the tax money you've already paid. So really unacceptable. But in any case, it's obvious that what President Biden is doing, in some cases, is historic. The $1,400 stimulus check was historic. It was the biggest stimulus check to date. Getting the physical stimulus plan approved, quite honestly, is historic. It's the biggest physical stimulus package we've had in probably basically a century. But it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like what the American people need. Although it's important, the American people need stimulus checks. SSI, SSDI, Social Security benefits, all need to be increased. And let me know in the comments if you agree. On top of that, you can't blame President Biden entirely, but the inflation issue has to be better addressed, and something has to be done now, more quickly, to help the American people. And the best thing they can do is give them stimulus checks to help account for the increase in prices, right? Because the increase in prices, let's be honest, the stimulus checks aren't causing that. The supply chain shortages are causing it, and then companies are taking advantage and just charging more because they can. Quite frankly, the companies look around and they say, hey, everyone's charging more. We're going to charge more too. Let's be honest, right? It's definitely happening. Well, let's talk about the new deadline that Nancy Pelosi has set for the $1.75 trillion stimulus check package, aka the Build Back Better Act. And again, Bernie Sanders is pushing to include a stimulus check for seniors in this stimulus package. Could be as high as $1,400, even $2,000. President Biden has said it could be as low as $800, and some people think it might even be pushed off, not included in the package at all, and put in the next stimulus package in 2022. Of course, that would be unacceptable. Now, Nancy Pelosi has told House Democrats just last night that they're not going on vacation. They're not going to have Thanksgiving dinner with their families unless they get the stimulus package done first. And that's a huge, huge deal, because this Thursday was supposed to be the last day, so 2 days from now, for the House to be in session. And then they were set to go off on basically a 2-week vacation to have a Thanksgiving dinner with their families. Well, Nancy Pelosi told Democrats in the House last night, if this stimulus package is not done, they are not leaving on vacation. And that is a huge deal, because we've seen before, this works. I mean, when Democrats and Republicans want to go on vacation, they get the stuff done because they want to go home and hang out with their families. Let's be honest, folks. It happened with the $600 stimulus check. Remember, they wanted to go home for New Year's, and literally on New Year's Eve, I'm fairly certain, is when they got that stimulus check package done. And they went home and enjoyed their vacation. Same thing is happening now. And we did get good news. The CBO announced that they should have all the data needed by the end of this week, by Friday. That way moderate Democrats can see, okay, it's fully paid for. They can vote and approve the package, because that's the caveat. Moderate Democrats in the House have said, we'll approve it as written if the CBO says it's fully paid for. So two things that are good news. The CBO should have the info by Friday, and Nancy Pelosi gave Democrats a deadline, basically Thanksgiving, but really this Friday. Hey, you want to go home, which it's supposed to be this Friday? Vote and approve the stimulus package. So that is the deadline, folks. This Friday, Democrats should have that stimulus check package done in the House. Of course, then it still has to go to the Senate. But it's good news, because Nancy Pelosi is putting pressure on Democrats to get it done. Not quite frankly, will they blow past that deadline? Could they blow past Friday? Probably. I'd give it a 50-50. But in any case, let's be realistic. If Nancy Pelosi told them they're not going home for Thanksgiving until it's done, it's going to be done before Thanksgiving, at least in the House, because that was the deadline, right? So you can basically put it in your calendar that by next Wednesday, the stimulus check package should be approved in the House. Now, a couple of things to discuss here. Will it include the stimulus check for seniors? We're hoping it will. Bernie Sanders is pushing for it. Nancy Pelosi is pushing for it. President Biden acknowledged it himself and said they are actively working on trying to include a stimulus check for seniors in this package. He said it himself in interviews. I could play the videos for you. So there is still a chance it could end up in the package, but it's not guaranteed. So we'll have to wait and see. We should find out by the end of this deadline whether or not that check is included in this package. Of course, then Democrats will send it to the Senate, at which point Joe Manchin is going to try and take a bunch of things out before it gets fully approved. So the saga will continue, folks. But in any case, we should have the stimulus package fully done in the next few weeks. Things are getting close. So subscribe, and I will keep you posted as things develop. This deadline is huge. It puts pressure on Democrats to get the stimulus check package done by Thanksgiving in the House. So that's a really good deadline that Nancy Pelosi has set. Now, I want to end this video with a couple of clips involving Bernie Sanders and Elon Musk. If you watched my previous video, you saw that I posted that Elon Musk is basically starting an argument with Bernie Sanders when it comes to taxing the rich. Now, we've talked about it basically every day on this channel, that in order to get the stimulus packages and Social Security increases done, the billionaires and millionaires are going to have to pay for this, right? To some extent. We have to increase taxes. There's too many loopholes. They're quite frankly not paying enough from a percentage standpoint. Well, Bernie Sanders is one of the main proponents of getting this done. He's constantly posting millionaires, billionaires, the wealthy have to pay their fair share. So he posted this again a couple of days ago. Bernie Sanders said, "We must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period." Elon Musk responded on Twitter. He said, "I keep forgetting you're still alive." I mean, just completely rude. I mean, just really classless. I get he's trying to be funny, but it's a little bit ageist in my opinion, right? Especially when Bernie Sanders is constantly being targeted because of his age. Well, Elon Musk went on to say, "I'm going to sell stocks to pay taxes on purpose just to show you guys that I don't mind paying taxes." And in a sense, sure, that's great. That's good. As long as he doesn't find loopholes and actually pays his taxes. But then he also went on to say, "Hey, Bernie, if you want me to sell more, just let me know. I'll sell more." Kind of mocking Bernie Sanders, right? So I'm going to end this video with a couple of clips showing the back and forth between Elon Musk and Bernie Sanders. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Let me know if you think Elon Musk is out of line. Let me know if you understand his frustration. In any case, this battle between Democrats and billionaires paying their fair share continues to intensify. So let's take a look, see exactly what happened, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Time for the morning buzz. Bernie going after billionaires again. Senator Bernie Sanders tweeted out this: "We must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period." Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who's worth almost $294 billion, fired back saying, quote, "I keep forgetting that you're still alive." Jackie, what do you think of this? Wow.
Well, you see this back and forth, and it's really kind of petty, but I'll go back to what Bernie Sanders said. The problem really here is not that the wealthy don't pay their fair share or that the tax code doesn't try to make them do that. It's all these loopholes. So I always say, instead of trying to raise taxes and say we're going to take more percentage of what you're not paying, go in the tax code, work on some of the loopholes. That's what the wealthy take advantage of, and try to change those rules to make sure that they pay more. It's not about the percentages or what they're supposed to pay, and they're not necessarily cheating. A lot of wealthy people just follow the rules.
That's absolutely right. And Brian, they're putting another loophole in there in this massive social spending bill by putting the SALT deduction higher than where it is right now. Why are we allowed? I mean, look, if you are going to pay all of that money in taxes on a state level, that means you must be making $1 million. Yeah. So what they're doing by raising the SALT deduction cap is pretty much giving a giveaway to millionaires and billionaires in the high tax states like New York and New Jersey.
You know, not surprising for Bernie Sanders. He used to talk a lot about millionaires until he became one. And then he started talking about billionaires.
Musk back at it again. Why is he, I don't know, lashing out or taking the bait this time and now?
You know, what's strange is that, as far as I know, Bernie Sanders does not even run his own Twitter feed, nor does he reply to anybody's. But Musk is replying to him and, you know, insulted him about his age. I think Musk has very, very clearly feels like a lot of politicians in Washington are too old to be governing. And so he's sort of taking potshots about his age, offering to pay more taxes, you know, saying, "Should I sell more stock, Bernie? What do you think?"
I keep forgetting that you're still alive. We have the exact words, so, you know, we will share them. Want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Just say the word. Bernie is a taker, not a maker. What's he trying to say here?
I mean, I think he just feels emboldened that he is the richest person in the world. And here he is, on the one hand, a government contractor. SpaceX gets money from NASA and the Department of Defense. Tesla has gotten funding in terms of the federal tax credit and has certainly benefited from a lot of public policy. And yet here he is kind of throwing pot shots at a member of Congress who has, along with other progressives, just wants the wealthy to pay their fair share.
So this $7 billion that he's already sold, do we think he will sell more? Why is he selling this in chunks? Where is he going?
Yeah, it seems to be like a drip, 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 where he's selling a little bit every day. There haven't been any Form 4s yet today, but they could come at any time. And I think he's just kind of like, he doesn't want to do it all at once. Why he's doing it this way, no one really knows. But he has a lot more to go if he's going to actually meet this 10% that he claimed that he would a couple of weeks ago.
And do we understand yet how much of what he's sold so far is purely to meet tax obligations and stock sale obligations, and how much additional he plans to sell to, fulfill this idea that he is the benevolent taxpayer?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he does quarterly estimates or if he does it all at once, how moving to Texas impacted things. There's state tax, there's federal tax. I don't know what his tax planning strategy is, but he said that he would sell 10% of his stake in Tesla. That's above and beyond what he would need to sell for his own tax obligation.